What's going on, 1st Dragoon Regiment? Today, this is Killam, and today we're going to be talking about how to upgrade named items here at the Gypsum Kiln. This is the Gypsum Kiln in, where are we at? Where are we at? Let's see where we're at. We are at Eden Grove. Right, here's the big tower. Here's the Gypsum Kiln, right next to the auction house or the trading post. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and look in here. In the Gypsum Kiln, of course, you got your gypsum orbs. If you've experienced this, you know I'm not going to go down through it too far, but I do want to also show you as you collect this materia, this spongy looking stuff, you will start to get these other replicas, and these are real replicas. You know, they're not like the lower level drop ones. These are nice items. Most of these drop at 700 legendary, even though they look like they're not gonna. If you pay the 3,500 for it, they will drop at 700 legendary. If not, and you're probably going to change them anyways by upgrading them, like I'm going to talk about in this video, you know, that's all well and done. So anyways, through here you can grab your life loop. If you haven't got the drop for it in a couple of runs, here it is. You can just buy it in here for 3,500 dense Ennead materia by running Ennead a few times. I don't think you have to do mutated to get this. And then, as you can see, you can get the different types. I don't have much of this Empyrean Forge for whatever reason. Barnacles and Black Powder, Savage Divide, Mutator named. Okay, so any of the Mutator ones drop, and you can get, look how many there are. There's a ton of them in there. Unique Glacial Tarn replicas, and then here's all of your artifacts. Okay, every one of your artifacts is upgradable. Now, upgradable for an artifact means you're adding a perk. All you're doing is adding a perk once you're done with it. So you don't want to upgrade an artifact just because you're done. However, you can only be working 10 artifact quests at a time. So you do want to upgrade them sometime to get them out of your cycle so you can get the next one. You see how many I have in here. I have more than 10, so I need to make sure that I do get some of them upgraded so I can start working on new ones. Like I just got I just got the Scorpion Sting like yesterday, and it says there, too many artifact objectives in progress. Abandon an existing one to start another one. If you abandon one, you lose your progress on it. I think Featherweight has not been upgraded yet. No, that one's been upgraded. Let me think here of one that's in the middle of being worked. Nope, too many. Here's one that's in the middle of being worked. So you see how I've checked some of those off. If I abandon this, whatever progress I've made is gone. I have to start over the process. Okay, so every artifact needs one chromatic seal and a weapon matrix, jewelry matrix, or armor matrix, depending on which one it is. For some reason, they count your shield as a weapon here, but it counts as an armor when you equip it. So it goes in your, I'll show you what I mean in a minute by that. You can only equip, I'm sure, you know, by this point you probably know that, but you can only equip one artifact in this column, one artifact of this 2, and one artifact of this 3. Okay, now normally your shield is considered a weapon, but in this case it's considered an armor for this one thing. I guess it's just considered in this stack, right? So but it does use a weapon matrix, and the matrices can be purchased or made. They're all level 250, and like the armor, they're almost all made in multiple locations. Like armor can be made by the magic shop or by the armor shop. And a lot of them are that way, can be made in multiple places. So you don't have to level everything, but it's probably best to level everything if you want to make these. I will towards the end I'll go through and show some of the results, some of what you need to make these. Obviously you can look that up fairly easily on your own, so I won't just throw that in here and make you bypass it right now. But once you have all the attributes for it, as you can see, it becomes available. Each type has its own perks, and your perks, you're probably learning which ones they are by now. Make sure and do some research on this. Make sure you get the ones that you want for each particular part and build. Where do you get the chromatic seal? The chromatic seal can only be purchased from this guy, from your faction vendor. So you open your faction board, you come in here to rewards, come here to champion, and then all the way down here, I usually just scroll all the way to the bottom, and then it's right here. You can purchase one per day, and that's what I usually do, is purchase one every single day. They're 19,000 faction and 5,000 gold. Okay, 19,000 faction seems like a lot, right? You're not gaining a whole lot very many places. I will point out that an easy way to get faction, come in here to your expeditions. If you do this random, you do 2 randoms a day, you get 2,500 faction tokens for each one of those, so that's 5,000. If you do 1 random mutated, this gives you 10,000 faction. So right there is 15,000 faction a day, just for doing 3 dungeons a day. And then, you know, maybe you're not going to do stuff every day, but a few other things, do a little PvP, do a couple of runs in here. I recommend everybody do some of these PvPs. This is open world PvP, and very rarely do you run into anybody out there actually doing them, because nobody wants to run into anybody out there doing them, so nobody does them. And so it's pretty much free PvP, and it helps you to get onto the PvP track, which is here. And I have 67 tracks completed, and you get a bunch of prizes for every track for that also. So there's a lot of stuff there. Anyways, I don't want to go get too sidelined there. I do want to then also talk about named items. That pretty much covers the artifact portion of this, because there's not really much to say about it other than the primary thing to remember is the only reason you're upgrading an artifact is to add a perk to it. And when you add a perk to it, so you're going to come down here, you're going to add your perk, and then when you craft it, that's going to turn it into with that perk. So you see I put on Shard of Crystallized Ectoplasm, which was, I don't even know what that was, Enfeebling. Okay, and then that's going to say, okay, cool, now it has Enfeebling. I think I've already actually put something on here. I think I put Leeching. I don't know what I put on here. Anyways, you can, that's another thing, you can upgrade everything again, adding a new perk. So you can change them out. It's not cheap, like you saw. This stuff is expensive. This jewelry matrix is expensive. If you have anything socketed, in most cases this socket will be destroyed on this upgrade. See how it says gem slot, empty socket? In most cases that is going to be the case. It says I have 3 here. I don't think it's going to let me choose which one of the 3. So that's kind of interesting. So it's going to return me a bow with an empty socket. One of those definitely has a high level socket in it. So you're going to get back an empty socketed bow. In this case, you're putting in a level 61 purple bow. You're going to get a level 61 orange bow, legendary bow, with your whatever you put on it. It's going to be gear level 700, so it's going to still be max gear level, but the required level to equip is only going to be 61. The required level is not the level of the bow. The gear score is the level of the bow. Okay, so we'll go back over here for one moment. One other thing I want to point out is, in order to see the stuff in there, like you can see, you're not seeing the venom in there. You have to have this disequipped from everywhere. Okay, and why I say everywhere is that venom is also in my sets. Okay, so it has to be removed from here so that it actually shows up in your inventory before it will show up inside of the gypsum kiln. Okay, now next step is I want to talk about named items. Okay, so named items, we have a syncretic bow here. Syncretic bow is level 61. I think they're always level 61, but they come in a variety of purple and orange, or brown, or legendary, whatever you want to call it, epic and legendary. And they can be gear score like 6, 25, all the way up to 700. You could get drops. You can get one just like this already at 700. It could already have the stats exactly like you want on it, right? A purple is going to be missing one stat. An orange or brown or legendary is going to have all of its stats, but one of them is going to float. Like you can see, this one is keenly jagged and enchanted. This one has keenly jagged, enchanted, and keen. Okay, so every one of these legendaries is going to drop with keenly jagged and enchanted, and then a random third whatever the hell those are called. I just lost my chain of thought. Perk. Okay, so that perk is going to be your optional perk. If it has what you want, you don't need to buy the part to change the perk. The perk will stay there. Okay. For instance, if you look over here at this build, okay, this lightning harnessing. Let me freeze this on the screen. This lightning harnessing perk, the part that is used to do it, costs between about $5,000 and $10,000 gold, depending on how many are on the auction house, or what time of week it is, or whatever. So if the bow or the gear already has it on it, then you don't need to change it, right? It's already there. It'll stay. The only thing that won't stay is your slot, your socket. Okay, so let's go back over here again. So you could see the purple one is purple, has 2. This one is orange, brown, legendary, has 3. You can see this one is been upgraded. Okay, I added abysmal attunement to it. Attacks deal 14% weapon damage as void. Does not trigger off persistent damage or dot effects. Okay, this bow, I then also put in a glass cased gem, so that it also converts 50% of the damage dealt to void, and you can see there. So I have void damage coming in 2 different directions with this bow. My damage is still 1700. Same. Now, if I take this bow off and actually could get it in there, you'll see hold on one second. I'll take it out of here. You'll see that both of these bows, this bow actually, because it's, I wonder why. I want to see why that would be scaling to a higher damage. That bow says 1638 damage. This bow says 1566 damage. So let's put this on. That says 1638. Put this on. It says 1638. Why, though, are they different when they're off? 1566, 1638. Somehow it's picking up that it should do more damage. I think maybe because of the scaling, converting to the INT. So it thinks it should scale farther, but it still doesn't. So we put it on. It's 1638 damage. We put the other one on. It's still 1638 damage. Okay. That's just to show you that it is a 700 bow, just like this one is a 700 bow. This one's level 65. This one's level 61. Okay. Now, you can collect, like I said, you could collect different versions of these. Sometimes you will get a 700 drop on some of these. It's rare, but it happens. So, if you get a 700 drop, happens to have the perks that you want, no need to upgrade it, right? Has everything you need. Keep in mind, little subtle differences. If this was a 699, it would only have 37 dexterity and like 1636 damage. That would be the only difference. If it was purple and 700, then it would just be missing one perk. That would be the only difference. It would still be 38 dexterity, and it would still have the same amount of damage. So just take those with the grains of salt that they are, and use them for the amount of time that you need to. I had a 700 purple rapier for a while, just because it was suiting me without the one perk that I was needing, because I wasn't actually using it in PvP anyways, and this one is a PvP perked that I use in PvE some. So anyways, I think that's probably about enough. Trying to think if there's anything else weird that I didn't cover. Anything else weird that I didn't cover? I think that should be it. I think I covered everything. If not, and you have a question, let me know in the game, and I'll put like a little Q&A under this video, and hopefully everybody will get this, down a little better. Oh, here's something else, okay? Anything that is below level 61 in general, any named item below level 61 is not upgradable, okay? Is that 100% true? I don't know for sure. I haven't ever seen anything that was below level 61 that's been upgradable. So, test it. Just bring it in here. Make sure it's in your inventory. Jump in the kiln. See if it works. If it works, it works, right? If it doesn't work, if you have collected an item and like how it looks, then you could, of course, go and transmog it, right? So if you like the look of that bow, you could go into your transmog and get one. I don't know if you can see, but you do get, I don't know. I've got a couple of transmog tokens. I get one about every week just by doing the elite chest runs, and you can transmog your gear doing that. So if it's just the look you like, and don't freak out too much, you can destroy it and it will be in your transmogs. If you don't know where your transmogs are, it's not really relevant to the video, but in every town has one of these. Not every town has a gypsum or gypsum kiln. They're about this level and up. Come to this guy, transmog, and then all of your stuff all your different designs that you've looted will come into here, and then you can build your gear that way. You can't, of course, have a sword that looks like a rapier. It has to be, a sword has to stay looking like a sword, unfortunately. I wish sometimes that you could make things look different, but you can't actually put them on. So once you loot something, you can change it to look like that, which is sometimes especially important if you have something. Hold on. If you have something that looks like it looks, so that's the bolt caster, right? And it looks like it looks, but I have it transmogged to look like this bow instead, because, and I was going to make it look like this bow, because for PvP I don't want it to look like this bow, right? People recognize that bow and will know that I have the bolt caster and will avoid me, which maybe I should actually want, because I'm not too good at PvP. But I also like the green color of that with my Marauder gear. So I think that should cover it. That should be pretty much everything there is to know about the Gypsum Kiln and upgrading gear. It does take, I don't know if I said this, it does take 3. Let's go back in here. It does take 3 of those chromatic seals to do a named item instead of 1 for the artifact. So they're a little more expensive, a little more available, and sort of a little more in your control. As you can see, I have 3 bows in my inventory, 3 syncretic bows. I pretty much get one every day. So as long as you're playing a little bit, you find what you want, and then you can go get it. And you could have, multiple of these set up for different runs, whatever, whereas you only get 1 bolt caster, so it has to be set up the way you want. If you want to change it, you got to actually change it and remake it, re-upgrade it. So that's it. See you in the game. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to y'all soon.